Yo, what's happening? It's the Corporate Business Principles podcast where we study the art of executive decision making whilst practicing the science of building a corporation. I go by the name of Kwame Appiaje, aka Martha Coin, Black Shark Entrepreneur, money, money, money. I hope you're all doing well. So, the topic of discussion today is choice and opportunity cost, okay? So choice and opportunity cost are both principles that are brought up in economics, which is a corporate business function. So we'll be looking at these two concepts from that perspective and how it relates to your business, your own life, and just a tool to use going forward, I guess. So let's get into it. We're going to define what these terms are. Choice. We're going to look at rational choice as well, and we're going to define what opportunity costs and how it relates, and then we'll go into how it helps or how these concepts relate to you on your quest of building a corporation. All right. So the best definition I found for choice says choice is an act of choosing between two or more possibilities. So it's really simple. If you have two possibilities, you pick one, you're making a choice now. Okay, rational choice. A rational choice is when you weigh up the pros and cons of a choice. Okay, so you're looking at the cost and benefits before you make a choice. So that's what we call rational choice. Or critical thinking is also come across, it also overlaps into critical thinking now. Okay, so opportunity cost. What's opportunity cost? So the definition I came up with is the best thing that could have been done as an alternative, the most prominent sacrifice. Okay, so an example of that would be if you have several options now, you made your choice, you rationalized, and you chose one possibility or one option. The opportunity cost is going to be the best alternative you could have done if you had not made that choice, okay? So even though there's several you may have sacrificed, the opportunity cost is the best one you could have done. And it's important to think about what you could have done when you make your choice later on, whether you're going through stress or whatnot and you want to reflect on why I'm here, how I got here. It's good to think back and think, okay, what could I've done? Because you may want to go back and do it, or you may want to compare. All right, maybe you have more information on doing that alternative, and then you could see, wow, I shouldn't have done that, and I'm glad. So that's why it's good to like try to think about what you're doing and try to look into the opportunity cost of why you did it or that choice you made, because it's very, very useful during stressful times. Yeah, so let's go into choice. All right, we're going to elaborate more on this concept of choice. All right, so there's two types of choices you can make. You can make a conscious choice or you can make an unconscious choice. All right, so a conscious choice again is a rational decision, is a plan, is a well thought out I like to think of choices as an investment, right? Like before you make a choice, you think of what outcome you want to happen, and then you decide whether you rationalize and you weigh out the pros and cons, and then you decide if that's something I really want to do. Okay, I know it's not as easier said than done in the heat of the moment. That may not be the case, but for someone that's trying to build their own business, that's definitely the case. All right, it's not a good idea to just jump out into the fire like that. Another type of choice is an unconscious choice, which is where you are, rather than rationalizing, you're indifferent to a choice. So you don't really care. It doesn't really mean that much to you. So you don't really think about it. You just go with the flow. Okay, and you could say that that could be like mental laziness, but we all do it. So don't kick yourself for that. But yeah, an unconscious choice is just where you're just indifferent, and that could lead to like I said, procrastinating and drifting. And when you start drifting, that's where the dangers come. You'll be open up to all kinds of suggestions and influences from the external environment and things of that nature. Okay, so you can make a conscious choice, or you can make an unconscious choice. This, ultimately, as always, is up to you. So that's the two types of choices. Yeah, so let's go into major decisions. All right, so you got your choices. You can make them consciously or unconsciously, as I mentioned, and then we got to go through life and make these major decisions, from the career we choose or the job that we want to do, the business we want to start. Do we want to do a product, or do we want to do a service? The spouse we choose, if you're a male, the kind of woman you want. If you're a woman, the kind of male you want or man you want. So these are all major decisions. Are we making these decisions consciously or unconsciously? Okay, are we rationalizing the pros and cons, or are we just drifting or going along, going with the flow, and then not getting the results that we're seeking? But it's easier said than done. Everything I say is all science, is all the principles, or the concepts, or the philosophy. So on paper it's all good, but in practice this is all real work that has to be done in order to make things happen how you want it to be, basically. So yeah, so other major decisions you can make is with your friends. Again, the kind of company you keep, that definitely has a influence on the outcome, on the accomplishments and habits that you make. Your inner circle, or your environment that you're in, where you choose to live. Some of us don't have a choice, would argue that, but at the end of the day, that's definitely going to influence your choices, but you can still make them consciously or unconsciously. Your religion, are we choosing our religion consciously or unconsciously? Are we researching the religions and looking at the pros and cons and the authenticity and the history of how they were created, basically, and the nature of the religion at its conception? Or are we just born into these religions, and our parents told us, and our school teachers told us, and the pastor or preacher or clergyman told us this is facts, and we just took it by face value? How much evidence and how much research do we really do that justifies what these religions sell us? And to be fair, I think we as a world human community are doing pretty good, dissecting these this information. There's a lot of information out there. You can just do your Googles and you can pretty much come up with some good information, and just beware of what's real or what's authentic and what's not authentic. There's a lot of truth out there, and there's also a lot of BS out there, to be fair. So that's why you got to learn to critically think and use your own logic and come to your own decision, and then if you do it that way, you can't lose, really. And again, lastly, your personal attitude. Are we choosing our personal attitude based on our influences growing up, or we like reading books and coming up with our own ideas and then researching that and then going by that for it to be the way of life now, or our moral compass? So yeah, that's something to definitely think about. So that's major decisions that we have to think about, and that leads into the influences. I was going on about influences before, but our choices are definitely there's definitely an influence factor to the choices we make, and these influences are going to be internal or external. None of us are born empty. We're even born with concepts and ideas and talents and gifts that came with us when we came into the world, and then as we grow older, we're influenced at school and our parents, our friends, family, and our environment, and more recent times, the TV, music, and propaganda. So we're heavily influenced, and that's why I go by the conscious, and go back to the conscious choices and unconscious choices. How when you are making unconscious choices, that's when you're really open to these influences, external influences, and some of them, a lot of the time, it's not serving you. It's not serving you. So that's definitely something to think about. And with the internal um, influences, that's just you doing your own research. That's your natural ideas. It would make just coming from the cosmos, just concepts and inspirations that you have. Like that's what geniuses and inventors. That's where they come in, or innovators of society. They're the ones that go into themselves and internalize, and I don't know, meditate, and then come up with brilliant ideas that influences the world. So I guess as a balance, you've got to look at the internal and external influences, and then you again choose on how to navigate and move, and I guess you just do what serves you. And again, are you doing it consciously or unconsciously? Okay. And these internal influences not only influences our choices, but it influences our emotions as well, and our will, and that's what drives us. So that's something to definitely think about. It's not something that you should take lightly, looking at when you do your research and study yourself and see where your best predominant ideas come from. If you used to research that, why you think a certain way, and look back in your history and see where you got these ideas from, you'll be heavily surprised, and that's where transformation begins. That's where the opportunity for change and growth can begin, when you study yourself rather than looking at others and trying to just judge them and advise them on what they should be doing. Okay. So no, time and choices and time is all about perspective, where you are in at that present moment. Are you in a retrospect position where you have done the choice you've made, and you're looking back? Are you in present and you're looking forward, and you're looking at options that you can do? And that's definitely something to take into consideration. And there's the present perspective. Maybe you're going through something right now, and you want to look at the choices available to you. It would be wise to snap out of the unconsciousness and get into the conscious, and start taking in your environment and using it for your benefit, basically. And then again, you go through the process of planning and seeing what choices you want to make, the investment. And yeah, man, that's how you navigate, man, corporate business, man. So I feel like I'm dropping jewels on you lot. Hopefully it makes sense. You can always leave a comment, or just inbox me if you want me to elaborate on any of these concepts. This is what I'm about, man. This is what I'm about. So I'll be more than happy to expand, or maybe do another video elaborating on some of the concepts that was unclear or a bit cloudy to you. If you want to correct me as well, I'm not perfect. I'm always open to correction, and I'm just pretty much going off of my own passion right now. So it's all good. It's all growth, man. It's all growth. So in summary, so what I would like to say about 1 second. Yeah. So in summary, my attitude towards choices and opportunity costs, I'd just like to share that I use the finance management concepts to weigh out choices. Okay, when you make a choice, you need to think about three things. You need to think about the the risk, the return, and the time. So you need to think about the risk, how likely, if you make a choice, how likely can you make this happen? And the return is what you, if you make a choice, what you want to come back to you, or what you want to experience, whatever the choice may be. And the time is how long is it going to take for you to get it, or how long are you going to have to go through it. So this is using the three concepts of making a choice that I like to consider going back to finance concepts. So this is corporate business. I'm just trying to show you can use business concepts to navigate through your own life or through your business ideally. So these are all these are the three factors I take into consideration before making any decision, or I try to, if I have that space available. So it's the risk, the return, and the time. So when you're next time you're out there trying to move like a boss, think about those three things, and hopefully you'll make it or achieve what you're trying to achieve. So that's it for now. Until next time, hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget, you can holler at me, just inbox me with any questions. 1.